Previously on Tales from the Flipside.
They kind of said, I mean, they kind of told everybody up front. They're like, look, this is kind of its own thing. It's not really, it's the Loki show. It's not really, supposed to be like a lead into a movie or anything like that.
Wrong, sir. Wrong.
Hey, if they throw Kang on there, then I will, on Friday's Hot 10 show, I will I'll have a sign that says I was wrong.
You dress up like Kang, man.
Yeah, there we go. I'll do something stupid.
Some Ben.
I'll wear a dunce cap or something. I don't care.
This episode's going to be really awesome or really bad.
It's all there, black and white, clear as crystal. So you get nothing. You lose. Good day, sir.
Oh boy.
That was brilliant. Boy. That was fucking brilliant.
Oh boy. That was good shit. Oh man.
I would have thought that to the end. Was it really Kang?
Oh man. Everybody. Oh man. You guys want to go check that whole episode out. Go check it out on last Monday's episode of Tales from the Flipside. You can find that show every Monday night at 9:30 p.m. Eastern time. Listen, thanks for joining us, everybody. We got the crew with us today. We got the one and only, the writer for the list, Ben Stein, Mighty Mel V, Drunken Chat later on tonight. Dollars in the house. Make sure you guys go follow Dollar on IG and check out his YouTube channel. Listen, this is going to be a lot of fun. We got a lot of books tonight that are on the list because of that comment earlier, that Kang stuff. Who would have thought that, like, they threw us for such a big loop? Because I agree with you, Ben. I agree with you that it made no sense to bring in Kang when they didn't talk about him at all for that whole series. Nobody knew who Kang was, so like it's weird to have him be the big bad. But
he wasn't. But he wasn't.
He wasn't the big bad. It was He Who Remains. That's a big bad.
I think it was Immortus, which is kind of a variant of Kang,
I don't think it was Immortus.
No, I think that's what like the showrunners said.
I thought they said that it was He Who Remains, the original.
Right, but the He Who Remains is actually, I guess, apparently from the showrunners, they said is more in line with Immortus and not Kang, which is just a variant of Immortus. So
technically,
I was partially wrong. Partially.
For those of you guys that don't follow the Tales from the Flipside Instagram, there was a really good post there today. Ben, just be lucky you don't have a beard.
What? What do I need a beard for?
Because I think Nico was looking for a place to throw that bet in to finally get somebody to shave their damn beard.
I think Nico wants everybody to shave his beard because he can't grow one.
Yeah.
I mean, I can shave my head again.
Yeah, well, you don't need to do that, man. That just makes you look better. Shout out to Christopher Colbert. He says the writer called him Kang in that article. Well, we all know. Yeah, I get it.
Yeah,
listen, this stuff is crazy. It's getting super deep. Some of the stuff that we saw today, we'll probably talk more about on Drunken Chat, son, when we get into Loki and stuff. Tonight, we're going to get into the list. For those of you guys that don't know, this list can be found every Friday on comicbookinvest.com, CBSI. One of my favorite places on the internet. It is the new Wizard magazine. Amazing articles by amazing writers. Of course, you've got the Hot 10 list every Friday written by the one and only Ben Stein. So make sure you guys go over there every week. All right, let's talk about some other stuff. Of course, we have immediately following this show over on Mighty Mel V's channel, we've got it's Drunken Chats. And what's going on over there tonight, bro?
Definitely going to be talking Loki. Going to be talking shit. I don't know what else we're going to be talking
Lots
about.
of fun. Lots of fun like normal.
We're going to wing it like we always do.
That's the way to do it, baby. And of course, I want to let everybody know, check out Comic Barricade and Cardstopper, cardstopper.com for the Cardstopper, for all you trading card fans that hate when you have nothing to put in your monster boxes. your cards are always falling over. I'm like finding old pieces of foam and stuff to throw in there. Cardstopper is your key, man. Like it is the thing to have. And same with Comic Barricade. And make sure you guys get it for your magazine boxes and your slab boxes. That's a Comic Barricade XL. You make sure to use the code word Flipside for 10% off your order. comicbarricade.com and cardstopper.com. All right, so we have the almost 10 that we're going to get into. The way that these work, you guys, is there's a couple books every week that almost make it on the list. We're going to get started into those books first. The first book on the almost 10 list this week, Warlord of Mars. And this is, let me see here. Let me bring up my stuff here. Hold on, I apologize. What's going on here? There we go. I'm a professional podcaster, you guys. Warlord of Mars, number 17. A beautiful, beautiful cover. What's the deal with this, Ben?
It's just a Perio cover. But it's selling for like 70 to 75. I know everybody chases after his Vampirellas and the Red Sonjas and stuff like that. But this one, I would say the Warlord of Mars probably has fewer copies out there. And so, yeah, this one's tough to find.
Great point. I love looking for those books that people don't really think of as, being rare. This is definitely, you could chop that up as, not super rare, but if there's less copies of it than most of the other Perio books. So dope cover. All right. Our next book on the list, Eve. A lot of people have been talking about this book lately. This is Eve number 3, the Lindsay 1 in 25 variant. That's seeing sales of $30 to $35 raw right now.
Nice.
Not bad.
Yeah, I mean, look at the body coming out of the windshield.
Yeah,
it's decomposed. That's like Walking Dead-esque.
Yeah, it's like what I heard somebody kind of call it like that. Walking Dead meets Winnie the Pooh or something like that.
I seen this on the shelf. Not on the shelf, but on the variant shelf in Midtown. I was like, why did nobody pick this up? Let me get one of those. So
yeah.
That bear looks like Ted. Remember Ted?
Yeah.
I'll be honest, she's kind of a jerk. I mean, she's got this little tiny backpack, and the bear's like hauling like stuff that's over top of his head, like he's about to collapse backwards. She's kind of a jerk, all right?
Well, it's definitely a book that a lot of people are talking about right now. That's for sure. I remember, I think it was on Drunken Chat. It was Drunken Chat, or I can't remember where, originally talking about the first issue and how everybody was like, oh, this looks good just based on the first cover. So cool stuff. All right, next book. This is a really cool book that was on the Modern Playbook Guys list a couple weeks back. Shout out to Tony, Blue Green Artifacts, who brought up this book. Super, super dope cover. So dope that I had to find it. So I made a great play on one, and this just came in the mail about 2 days ago. So I was lucky enough to pick one up. This is for all of those Banksy fans out there who, and I don't know who isn't a Banksy fan. Like when you learn about, the whole thing behind Banksy, and his art is great just to begin with, his, hers, whoever, they, but just the whole mystique behind it, I think adds more to it. But Department of Truth, this is right up Department of Truth's alley, right? Like somebody not knowing who Banksy is and, the mystique behind it. So what issue is this, Ben?
This is issue number 9. So nobody knows who this person really is.
Nobody. Well, there's ideas that he could be the singer for this band, Massive Attack, right? I think said maybe Massive Attack. There's a couple of ideas. People think who it may be, but nobody really knows.
So it's like Daft Punk.
You got it. If nobody knows about Banksy, go watch.
HBO special,
In Through the Back Door or something like it. I think it's called Out Through the Back Door or something like that. Look it up. There's a Banksy special. Chat. I know Chat's going to be writing it here soon. Really good Banksy documentary that was supposed to be a documentary on another artist, but ended up being like a documentary on Banksy and vice versa. It was really cool how they did it. So make sure you guys go check it out. Banksy's super dope. But what is this book selling for now?
Like $230.
Yeah. Yep.
There's only 500 of them, and I don't know. Is there? I don't know. Like as far as like first appearances, I don't know if number 9 has any first appearances. If it does, that's going to be a huge staying power for it.
Well,
but I don't know.
That's a great point. This is you want to hear something crazy? So this is the first Department of Truth book I've ever purchased. I quit buying I quit doing the Wednesday Warrior stuff a while back. So it's very rare for me to get new books unless it's something that I really, really want. But I think Department of Truth is, up until this point, it was hot, but it's not as hot as it is right now. I mean, that book is going crazy. A lot of people are trying to get in on exclusive variants for Department of Truth, and it'd be interesting. Chat, let us know if there's any good first appearances in issue 9 for Department of Truth. So, all right. So here is the next and final book on the Almost 10, Avengers. This is number 1, the second printing variant. Of course, Kang on the cover. This is from the 2010 series, and $35 to $40 raw right now.
Yeah, and I purchased a lot of second prints, and I don't ever recall seeing the second print in a back issue bin. So it's probably not the easiest one to find.
Yeah.
And if my internet goes out, I hear a storm coming through right now. So if all of a sudden it just blanks out, then it's not because I'm sticking my head in the sand or anything like that from the Kang.
Well, don't feel bad, man. I got the same thing going on right now, man. It's monsoon weather here in the valley, so we'll see what happens. We'll get through this, though. All right, we're going to get into the meat of the list, but before we do, let's get into the honorable mentions. Now, this is kind of rare. We don't usually see non-Golden Age books. Would you still call this Golden Age?
Yeah, this was like 53, I think. So
okay.
This would still be Golden Age.
Well, this is a gorgeous cover. Casper number 20, Casper the Friendly Ghost number 20 from the Harvey series. Absolutely gorgeous cover if you can find it in good condition, especially if you can get those greens and reds and yellows and all those beautiful colors to pop. What a great cover.
Yeah, and for those who don't know, this is actually the first appearance of Wendy the Witch. So it's actually an actual key. It's not just a, hey, this is a rare book, or hey, this is a really cool cover. This one in the guts is actually an official key. So, but yeah, a 9.2 copy sold this week for $31.20, which is triple what a 9.2 copy sold just in 2019. So it's tripled in value in 2 years. Not many sales, to be honest. So this is not like one you just like see out there.
Yeah, this is a dope book. If you do see it out there, snag it. All right, the next honorable mention on the list. This is a cool book. Before I had to reboot my computer, I had a really cool article talking about this. Never, number 1 from Virus Comics. Is Virus a part of Heavy Metal? Yeah. So yeah, I was doing some research on this. This is I love books like this. I love books that people don't normally talk about and that are kind of like, rare, hard to find publications and stuff. Is this book hard to find?
I don't know if it's like super hard to find, but I mean, I would assume that unless your LCS is one of those ones that purchases, kind of the really offshoot indie titles, they're not going to even buy. They might pick up 1 or 2 copies of this. That's about it. So it probably, I'm sure it would be a Midtown or something like that. But.
Yeah, they were plentiful at Midtown, and also gave out a link to the Heavy Metal store where they had them on sale. That shit was quick.
Yeah,
that shit was quick.
Hey, yeah. and I will say that's a thought that a lot of people forget about when it comes to like some of like the Boom books or the Oni Press or anything like that. If you see it, if it just came out, make sure you check their website before you go spending a bunch of money on eBay. You can always, a lot of times you can find those for cover price before they sell out from the store itself.
Yeah,
just
that's a great tip.
follow me on Instagram. I usually put out links like that all the time. Let
Eat.
the people eat. People
Amen.
gotta eat.
You don't have, Mel, you don't have your IG name on there.
It's Drunken Chats, huh?
I know that, but some people who may jump in may not see it. They may not know.
That's true.
See, look, they look at $, Insta and YouTube.
I definitely got. I got to step my promotion game up for 100%.
Although for some reason I never want to say dollar, I want to say dollar. Dollar. I don't know why.
Well, it was $, Ben, but because of Mel, it's now $. I mean, when I was on Drunken Chat for last summer, he just called me $, all the time. It just stopped. So, yeah.
All right. Well, you guys, we have a book to give away tonight based on, I wish it was the Banksy book, right? I believe last week, well, let me see if I can find this. Last week, we gave away a bunch of books during the show. One of them being, let's see here. I'm trying to find out which book it was. We gave away the Nottingham books, right? And then we gave away something else, but I'm gonna pick a winner.
It was that Black Widow Peach Momoko.
Okay, yeah. So the Black Widow Peach Momoko books, Peach Momoko book was given away to a random viewer, and then we give away the Nottingham books, which are a set. There was a variant. A Virgin variant for number 2, and then the trade for number 2, and I think it was a V for Vendetta homage. So yeah, so let's go ahead and give that book away. Basically, what I did, you guys, is I asked everybody to tell me your favorite article or writer over at comicbookinvest.com. Let's go ahead and pick a person. Now, I will say this: unfortunately, you guys, I'm not shipping to international places anymore.
No.
It's been Singapore, Australia, 4 or 5 Canadas in the last couple times. So GT Key Comic, I hope you are in the United States. He says, favorite CBSI article, December 2020, Ben C., the G.I. Joe first appearance list. See, I'm surprised that it got the first appearance list. I was thinking, for the G.I. Joe first appearance list, I was thinking it was going to be the Star Wars first appearance list. But hey, the G.I. Joe first appearance is your winner. If you guys don't know, there's some really good lists over on comicbookinvest.com, including the G.I. Joe list, the Star Wars list, the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles list. There's all kinds of cool lists over there, so make sure you guys go check them out. So GT Key Comic, hit us up at Tales from the Flipside on IG or Tales from the Flipside channel at gmail.com. Let us know your location or your contact information and what books you won, and we'll get those out to you as long as you're in the United States. For everybody else recently that won, I think we gave away a book last week that was Singapore. That's been taken care of by Bird City Comics. Thank you to Bird City Comics. But then that night we gave away a book to a winner that turned out is in Australia.
So hold it. So Bird City took care of that, and not.
Yeah. Bird City said, "Don't worry about it. We got it. We love the guys over at Team Nerd Herd, so we're gonna take care of it for them." So shout out to Bird City Comics. If you guys aren't following Bird City Comics, go give them some love. BirdCityComics.com, Facebook.com/Bird City Comics, or at Bird City Comics on IG. They got a lot of cool stuff. They got some great exclusive variants going on right now. So make sure you guys go give them some love. All right, here we go into the list at number 10. Now, of course, this I was totally expecting to see this book on here, and this is Canto 3, Lionhearted, number 1, the Corona 1 in 25 variant. I saw a ton of people posting on Instagram, picking up their Canto books. Shout out to Comic Man Andy, who has an amazing original art dual page image that he bought from first issue Canto. That's absolutely gorgeous. I saw that this week too when talking about the new Canto series coming out, but everybody's going crazy for Canto, and rightfully so. Great series.
Yeah, this is a good looking cover too. Like it's I love this cover. I like the depth perception on it with the trees and everything. It's a good looking cover.
Yeah.
And while I'm sure the print run on King 2 3 is probably higher than it was on 2 or 1, I'm sure it's still probably not huge. I mean, because this was what, a 1 in 25?
Yeah.
Yeah, so 1 in 25. So I mean, I would think that it's still a lot of copies for most shops to be ordering the IDW. 25 copies of an IDW title, right?
Yeah.
How many did you see? Very many of these left on the shelves when you guys went to the store this week?
Not me, none at all.
I didn't see any.
I'm not surprised. Super hot title. Great book.
The guts. There's a key in the guts. I think it's the first appearance of a new weapon. Because right now, I mean, spoilers. Right now, he's battling Shrouded Man, and he's having a hard time defeating him. And he's now acquired and wielding a weapon that could defeat him. And on top of that, I believe he's looking for new allies, for the battle. So
dope.
It's definitely great.
Yeah. What did you say? How much these are? These above ratio right now?
Yes, 30 to 40.
Not bad.
Not bad at all.
This next book, number 9 on the list, Sensational She-Hulk, number 40, really
Classic.
surprised me when I saw. Shout out to Doc Joe. I think Doc Joe made a post about it in one of our chats where he showed some recent sales on CGC 9.8s of this that absolutely floored me. Last issue in the series, I believe. Is that right? No,
50.
50.
It went to
50. They went way high.
Yeah, 50 was the same cover as 1, right?
Yeah,
basically.
Yeah, I remember they had a real cool like foil variant that it showed her, but her like cleavage was the only thing that was not like negative space on the cover. It was really crazy for back then. Anyways, She-Hulk stuff's going crazy, and these innuendo covers have always been wanted by comic fans, but it seems like they're starting to blow up now that the series is coming. What are we seeing on prices on these?
A 9.6 sold for like $650 for a 9.6, and then a raw 8.5 sold on my comic shop for $275.
Wow.
Yeah, that's like major key, right?
Yeah,
I mean,
that's interesting.
That's crazy. I mean,
what was the well, I gotta say the controversy behind this, but it wasn't.
She's naked and he's asking her to jump rope.
Right.
Yeah, but I think the issue before, like John Byrne said something like, like somebody dared him to do it or something like, or it was something weird like that. And he was like, "Yeah, I'm going to do it," or something like that.
Like in the letters comments or something.
Something, yeah, it was something real weird with that.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, I don't. I mean, a cover like this would not be made today, right? On a Marvel book.
No, I don't think so.
No, yeah, so no, because because he's asking her to do, and then plus it goes on for a first few, almost to the centerfold. So,
wow, interesting. Well, listen, the innuendo covers have always been collectible. That's why we talk a lot about it, headlight covers and PCH and all that crazy stuff. So people are gonna always look for this stuff, but.
I remember there's an A-Force variant where she's actually jumping rope.
Is there really?
Yeah. I put 2 and 2 together. That's kind of funny.
Interesting.
I remember that.
Yeah. All right. Number 8 on the list this week. A dope Silver Surfer homage type cover.
I always wanted this.
Yeah.
2019, right?
Yeah. 2019 SDCC, I believe. This is Silver Surfer Black number 2, the Giuseppe Camuncoli variant. I hope I said that right. But super rare, I guess, right, Ben?
I don't know how rare the color the black and white supposedly is only like 25 copies or something. I guess was only given out to VIPs, but the color, the black and white doesn't look near as good as this color version. But I'm not sure why it's. I mean, basically now it's selling for 300 raw.
Jesus.
Yeah, So I'm not sure why.
Well, it was given away at the Marvel Fanfare panel at San Diego Comic-Con 2019. And like you said, there's 25 of the black and white. But isn't that Dark Carnage on the board?
It looks like it.
So, maybe with the whole Carnage Venom thing, and, Silver Surfer Black is just so, seems like it's peaks and valleys. It gets popular, it just
out of nowhere, it just goes up crazy. Yep. So, and this is just a fantastic cover, simple but yet great,
Yep.
Yeah, I think if there's any of these Marvel or DC that comes out of these conventions that are like almost like RRPs, I'd have a hard time selling those because they're just not really that replaceable. I mean,
right.
You're just better just to hang on to it for several years, and then once people realize, oh gosh, there's a sweet looking cover that nobody could get and nobody's selling. Now we're going to pay a fortune for it because it's still Marvel and DC. So I'd have a hard time if I was there, I would have a hard time getting rid of this book.
Yeah, I love these types of books that are given out at events like that, like the Eastern Washington Spawn. Was it Eastern Washington, the Spawn book? These type of books are right up my alley, and if I find out about them or I see them somewhere and they're cheap enough to buy, I'll snag them. I love walking into
Carnage Miles versus a Venom Hulk that I always wanted.
Yeah, that's dope. That's dope.
That almost looks like the Carnage Miles. Kind of does.
Almost, yeah. Like almost, yeah.
Because that was right around when Absolute Carnage with Miles Morales was.
Well, Miles had the 6 arms. What's his name? Like Doppelganger or something like that.
Yeah. Are there going to be any variants in San Diego this year? Great question.
Yes, there is. If you go to Twitter and follow San Diego Comic Cons, and WonderCon is also linked in there. Twitter page, they have mentioned they're going to have exclusives. I think there's go to their website too, because they have Funko Pops and the whole thing. They just haven't released what they're going to be releasing, but pretty sure they are.
There we go.
They're not doing a live SDCC, right?
I don't think so. I think they're just having the online shops.
Okay.
Wow. All right. Issue 7, another book I've seen pop up in IG or Facebook posts lately. Wildcats #1, the Newsstand Edition. These old school Image books, the newsstands, are always worth buying anytime you see them, in my opinion. This is a book that people probably would have not even thought twice about picking up 5 years ago, but they're selling now. What's going on with this one?
Yeah, so I think it was, I don't want to say who posted the article, but there was somebody, I guess, that had some, I guess DC's basically bringing Wildcats back.
You got it.
And so now that they're going back into DC continuity, some of these characters have kind of popped up before, like individually. Mm-hmm. Like I think Grifter's been in like a couple.
Yeah.
And Fairchild, I think, has been in like when she wasn't in the original Wildcats team, but I think she did some Wildcats later, right?
Yeah, Tenian put Grifter in Batman 101, and then Jimenez did a 1 in 25 design, which a lot of people thought was a first because they forgot about this book and it's also Image. But it's funny when I saw you, I always wait for your list, Ben, and when I saw it this morning and I saw that book, I was like, yeah, because I have a few of them,
a few hundred of them.
Let's hear it for the Grifter.
Yeah, Grifter was in Batman recently, so yeah, you're right. Not bad.
Yeah. So I mean, all that basically is. I honestly like a lot of the Wildstorm stuff. I don't mind them putting that stuff, especially bringing that stuff into DC stuff since they own it now. I'm totally cool with that.
Yeah. Well, we have a lot of people mentioning San Diego Comic-Con, so it has been announced recently, I guess, that they are going to be doing some type of live something. We'll see what happens. I imagine that's still 100% up in the air. I mean, like, maybe they want to do something, but we'll see what happens. Keep an eye on San Diego Comic-Con's website for any information. That's for sure. All right, how much are these selling for?
The newsstands are selling for like 25 to 30 now. They were only selling for like $5 or $10, but the one pet peeve that I have on this is that the way he's got Wildcats, C period, A period, T period, S. Like it should be like it doesn't, like covert action teams. So the T doesn't make the T period S doesn't make sense, right?
It should just be Wildcat.
It's either Wildcat or
Wild Covert Action Team.
It doesn't make sense, right?
Yeah. No, it does. You're right, Ben. Nice catch. Wow.
It's kind of like
Emily too, right?
That's like always bothered me, but I'm the word police, so I guess that's
Spectacular Spider-Man on the Carnage issue, right? Or didn't they mess something up on one of the Carnage issues? 361. Yeah, Amazing Spider-Man 361. Was that the one where they messed up the title? Anyways.
The cover. Yeah.
So this is listen, the other thing is Jim Lee has been over at DC forever. He's worked his way up. If anybody's going to get some pull on some of the team stuff they've created, it's going to be that guy over there. Right? Didn't they? They're gonna do everything they can to keep that guy around, I think, at this point. So
I just want Gen 13 back. I just want Gen 13 back.
Yep, I'm with
Peach
you.
from Local Gen 13 cover, I'll take it.
Yeah. Number 6, another interesting book, Chariot, #1, from Brian Hill and Priscilla Petrades, was recently optioned by Warner Brothers. What are we seeing this prices for this book at?
25 to 30, which I guess pretty much it was probably just cover price before, $3-4, something like that. And this is a decal variant or
gorgeous
cover, right?
It looks like, you could see it right there.
Or however you say it.
Yeah, gorgeous, absolutely gorgeous.
Yeah, so
super 80s Miami Vice type vibe to it, right?
Right. Yeah, I just always have the caveat on some of these indie titles that just because they get optioned doesn't really, I mean, even the ones that actually make it to either TV or a movie doesn't really, the long term doesn't really hold up, probably 95% of the time. It just doesn't. I mean, Walking Dead's a complete exception, but even books that had like movies, like multiple movies, like Men in Black, those books are they're really not worth that much. The Mask it's not really worth that much. So investing in some of these random, indie titles is definitely risky.
Yeah.
And I believe that most of them are returnable too, aren't they?
AEW books?
Well, I mean the smaller indie #1s. But I mean, there shouldn't be that many of these out there anyways. I mean, I didn't even know about Upshot or even hear about it. Mel's the one that got me on Upshot last summer.
The zombie joints. Those zombie books. Yeah.
Those went crazy for a while, remember?
Yeah, I think they will again. I think it has a lot of potential. I mean, especially people, if the zombie phase, I think the zombie phase is in a downturn right now. And what if? Yeah. It's a cycle. It's really a cycle. It's one thing I learned about the comic game. What was once hot will be hot again.
Yeah.
So. Yep. You're right.
We have 206 live viewers right now. I see a bunch of people in a bunch of friends and in the community in the chat right now. Thanks everybody for hanging out.
Swagger House in the building, my man.
Swagger
Loki.
House, yep. Mojo Comics, Como Comic Books, Invite to Raid, Mojo Quid, all kinds of people. Thunder, I see you in here. Wonder World Comics. Of course, Christopher Cole. A lot of fun people, friends in the community. Thank you for hanging out. We appreciate each and every one of you. We got another set of books we're going to give away. I'll talk to you about that later. It is going to be the...
Ooh.
Yeah. This is a Nice House on the Lake, the John Gallagher Wanted Comics variant. absolutely gorgeous. If you guys got the first one, you definitely want the second one. Really creepy stuff. So we'll talk about that, how you can win that book later on the show. So make sure you guys hang around. Shout out to Comics Maine too. I see Comics Maine. I see Dre out there. I see 78 points of articulation.
I love that name.
Yeah, right. Thanks for hanging out, guys. Colossal Customs, a lot of fun people. Listen, you guys, we love this community. We're really trying our best to help grow this community and make this community even better. Make sure you guys check out all the other content creators, comic content creators in YouTube, IG, all the stuff that make this, all the people that make this community fun. We appreciate each and every one of them, and we want you guys to go check them out. So, all right, let's get into number 5 on the list. Probably the dopest. It's tough. It's a tie. No, it's not. This is a winner, but very close as the best cover on the list this week. Even better than the Banksy one. Ghostbusters number 14 from IDW, the B cover. Super hard to find. This artist, what's the artist names on this?
Tristan Jones.
Tristan, yes. I went back and found some old was it Deviant Art, I believe, post by him when he was making this comic, and he said that he thought this was going to be his final movie homage that he would do. Be really interesting to see if he did any movie homages after this one, because if he didn't, man, he went out the champ, because this Taxi Driver homage is creepy. It says that creepy on it. It is that creepy.
Yeah.
So,
this was a book that I actually put on. I think I put on a ghost list, like 3 years ago, maybe 4 years ago. I'm not even 100% sure. And I just happened to find this like years ago, and I was like, man, that's a really cool cover. I've never seen it before. I'm going to buy it. Really, and then for like years, never saw it for sale at all. But this week, holy crap! I mean, multiple copies sold for $200 to $400.
What?
Yeah, 200 to 400 raw. Yeah, it's
tough books, man.
Yeah, I will say that if regardless of publisher, if there's a variant out there that you've not really seen before and there aren't any for sale and it's a sweet cover, you should buy it. I don't really care what the subject matter is. I mean, nobody's really going out saying, hey, I want to go buy a Ghostbusters variant. But when you see a book like this that just stands out completely, and it's an incentive, low printed title, you should definitely buy that. Don't even look and see what they're selling for on eBay, because you may not even find something like this. Just buy it.
The interesting thing about this is one of the places I went to go check it out was the Ghostbusters wiki of the fandom, and I was blown away. I thought Star Wars wiki was crazy and how deep they go into this stuff, but I was blown away by this when they start talking about like all the little points, like they have all the little trivia points and stuff. Well, they say development. It says Tristan Jones on May 14th revealed his cover for issue 14 will be based on the second introduction title sequence for the Ghostbusters. On June 1st, Tristan Jones says, if it gets approved, the cover I've just done for Ghostbusters 14 will be my new favorite thing I've ever done. That's pretty damn cool.
That is awesome.
Yeah. So, but if you look at some of the trivia things for these issues, I mean, people are looking at it and talking about like page 1 and his all these little points of that show things in the background. And on the desk phone is a note for Ray to call Aunt Lois, a relative of the animated version of Ray in the real Ghostbusters. Like, these things are crazy. So seeing stuff like that is really cool. I love.
There's a lot going on page 4.
Right. Look at that. All of that just on page 4, all these little Easter eggs. So we all love Easter eggs, and I love fans even more that do that type of stuff, that go point out all the cool little spots. Like I remember the first time I found Donnie Darko's Wikipedia page, I geeked out for hours on it, So when you can find cool stuff like that, cherish them. Go check out if you're a fan of Ghostbusters, go check out the Ghostbusters wiki. Really cool stuff. But this book is a super tough book to find.
It sounds like a rabbit hole I want to go down, but I'm not quite ready yet.
That's every rabbit hole.
Mel, you go down every rabbit hole. Come on.
I'm not ready for this one yet, though. I'll be there for fucking hours. I love Ghostbusters.
Yeah.
Except for that shit that came out a couple years ago.
Yeah, I don't even think about that. That's like the Star Wars trilogy that just recently came out. I don't even think about that as being canon.
What trilogy?
What trilogy? Yeah. 7, 8, and 9. What? All right. The next book on the list. Now we're starting to get into the territory of recent Marvel Cinematic Universe developments for the rest of the list. And the big one, of course, as we started off the episode, was Kang showing up in Loki. And this is a absolutely gorgeous cover. Super, super dope cover I think this is the A cover, right? This is the regular A cover for Avengers from the 2017 series, Avengers number 2. Beautiful. Alex Ross.
Peter Renner?
Yeah.
Peter Renner. That was the first person I saw mention this.
Yeah, he was on it.
That was like a month ago, right?
They was giving him out on in Midtown. Pac for real. Shout out to Pac for real. He provided a link for people to eat, and we ate.
Yeah, and if you're not subbed to his YouTube channel, I mean, you are doing yourself a disservice. He has so much cool information on all of his finds. I mean, that guy, he surprises me every time. I love watching his content.
Yeah, he's super close to 1,000 subs. So make sure you guys go check out is it Rena? I know
Renavision.
Yeah, but I know his. If you just search Renavision or type Peter Renna in YouTube, and it'll come up. So make sure you guys go give him a follow and a sub. His like Dollar said, his stuff is some of the best looking, best thought out, coolest little short pieces out there. So good stuff. What is this book selling for right now?
It is selling for $25 to $30. It was pretty much a week ago. Was like there was like no sales.
Cover price.
And, there was like people weren't even paying cover price for it. They just weren't even buying it. And now it's selling for. There's a ton of sold, all in like the $25 to $30 range. And I think it's just anything Kang right now.
Anything Kang right now.
Which is kind of weird because if you really
knew
think about
was coming.
he
was coming.
Jonathan Majors was cast like 2 months ago, 3 months ago for Ant-Man.
No,
so
longer, I think.
Was it longer than that?
Yeah.
So it was
for Ant-Man. Yeah.
Yeah, so it's not like and we knew then. Okay, well, he's definitely going to happen because he's already been cast. So it's not like it's a surprise.
I was looking for King shit when I was on UD. I was start picking up like that Young Avengers 3. That's like a $40 book on the low. I'm like, what?
And you know what, Jonathan Majors, that's his name.
Yeah,
he did epic job.
Killed it.
My
Lovecraft?
gosh, I loved Lovecraft.
Loved it.
He was so good
Loki?
in Loki, though.
Yes,
Brian. I was watching it and I was listening and then when I saw him like so into character, I was like, this guy is amazing.
Oh, that's just because he wasn't actually playing Kang.
Get out of here. Get out of here. 222 live viewers. Hit that like button. If you guys aren't already subscribed to us, please let this be the show that gets you to become a subscriber. We'd really appreciate it. We're getting really close to 5K. So we would appreciate that sub. All right, let's get on to number 3 on the list. Not Kang, but recent MCU talk. The Black Widow Prelude. This is interesting. So I went looking for this book. I saw that what you wrote in the Hot 10 for this book, Black Widow Prelude #1 exclusive photo variant. So I went searching for it, and it's tough to find. This is a tough book to figure out anything about. What's going on with this?
I'm not 100% sure. The only thing I could find was that they were all sales from overseas. There's I guess the U.S. If you went last week, you were able to get a U.S. version of this, but it's not this. It's not a photo variant. It's art. It's just Black Widow with her head down or whatever. And I just right before I was telling the guys, I just got back from watching Black Widow tonight, and this is actually the huge display that they had in the movie theater. This is actually what was the display was this photo. Sorry about
Holy
that.
shit! You got a wolf?
Yeah.
Well, let me tell you what I like about these Prelude books. So you have Marvel main continuity, 616, and then everything else. But, you know, the MCU is Earth 19999. And what these Prelude books do is they drop either right before or right around, typically around release day of these movies. What they're designed to do is they're designed to tell the story of what happened between each movie. And that's the guts of the book. So if you're thinking, oh, I'm not going to buy this, I just watched the movie, it's going to be the same thing. No, it's actually typically different stories. So for instance, give you an example, this was right before Black Panther. So what number one could be before Black Widow, or what was the movie before Black Widow? Civil War. So before Black Widow, in between Civil War, and then after Black Widow, before Black Panther. And it's important too, because, you know, the MCU is doing heavy retcon, and it makes a lot of sense. So, like, give you an example, Bucky as White Wolf. You know, a lot of people couldn't understand why Bucky was White Wolf and why that Black Panther back issue was going crazy when Hunter was the White Wolf. You know, and Mel can attest to this. The Prelude book for the Infinity War explained it.
Well,
so yeah,
these books, there's something crazy about these Prelude books. People go nuts for them. I know, to get stuff signed. Some of them are super rare, but what's interesting is, like, there's this one. There's a ton of these Black Widow photo variant books, right? There's this one, the one we just showed. There's this one here.
Yeah, so that one right there actually came out last year, because the movie was supposed to come out last year. So that actually came out in 2020.
There's this one.
Mm-hmm.
And then, of course, everybody knows this variant right here.
The poser.
Yep. The poser.
That was the best part of the movie, honestly.
I loved it.
So all these photo variants, I'm sure, are going to see a little bit of an uptick. But this one here seems to be much rarer.
Yeah, and I will say that if you look at the listings of this, where they show the front and back cover, the back cover of this is all black. It's 100% black. So you think, okay, so if anybody walk into a movie getting popcorn and they handed these to the people, there is no chance that those black back covers are not just ugly. So the only way you're going to get like a really high grade is if, you know, it's the kid in the back that just was like, I'm just keeping these for myself.
Oh, somebody bring the bag and board, because we got smarter collectors now.
Yep.
But question.
But this is like overseas. So are we giving? I mean, yeah, Americans are kind of generally think like that, but would you say overseas do they think like that? Maybe not.
Well, somebody in the live chat says, I believe he said he's from the UK, or he knew. He said that the IMAX, Yeah, go ahead and highlight that. Only one I see in eBay from the white suit. So is the ones from the UK with the white suit, and these ones are the domestic?
This right here, I think is all the ones I saw listed were either in the UK or in Australia. The white suit was the one that I saw more of that I think is from the US.
It sounds like it might be flipped, but we'll find out that the white suit was UK and vice versa from what the chat is saying.
Okay.
Oh, no, you're right, Ben. The UK is this one, and the white suit is the US one.
Right.
But quick question: since the multiverse is going to happen and everything's up for grabs, won't these Prelude books definitely become more and more important?
That's what I'm saying, and I mean they don't contradict. As far I've read a lot of them, and they don't contradict the movies. So I mean they're canon. You know, so I mean, they should be important, and I mean, they're everywhere, and they're low print run. I mean, I believe they're under like 10,000, could be closer to 6.
I need that first Darcy. I need that Cat Daniels.
That's another good one.
I want this one. I'm just gonna buy it, I think, because you can't get in the US. I mean, and that's a
Did
huge.
Did you get your God Killer last week?
No.
No,
I haven't been home. I just got home, and of course I'm going right back to Chicago. But
right back to the place you hate.
I know, and that's
they show you so much love in the shops.
Yeah. You walk when he walks in, they don't even put up the sign. They just tell him to get the hell out. So, anyways, on to the second book on the list this week. More Kang, more Avengers book. Well, this is Avengers number 267, and a very famous Kang cover, one that I thought we would see on the list more leading up to it, but took that final scene to make believers out of a lot of people. And this is a dope book right here, Avengers 267.
Yeah, ton of sales of this. Very, very few CGC copies, though. Everything was raw. So I just think that there's probably going to be just a truckload of these ending up at CGC here within the next 30 days.
There is a Canadian price variant on this one too. So.
Yes, there's a Canadian price variant and a Mark Jewelers. And shout out to Mr. Miracle Comics. He has a YouTube channel, podcast. He does videos kind of like us on Flipside, and he does each weekend. He does 5 books to pick up. He almost 2 years ago, he was talking about, or whatever Kang was announced and Jonathan Majors was announced, whatever, a year ago, whatever it was, he was talking heavy about this book. So shout out to him. I wouldn't even have it if he didn't tell me about it. So.
Yeah, dope book.
Yeah, I don't know why this Storm like when I look at Storm, I don't know why. I think it's the depth perception or something, but it looks like a little tiny mini Storm, right? It looks weird.
Yeah.
It looks weird, doesn't it?
Yeah, she looks like she's not flying, but she's miniature.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, and like if you look at Hulk, he looks like he's like all scrunched up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it's kind of
so
crazy to see the X-Men in there, right?
Yeah. But this is selling for like $60 to $80 raw.
What? In a Copper Age book, an 86 book? Wow. That's crazy.
It's the time we live in, baby.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you're not $100 book, you're a crappy.
Yeah,
you're just a filler.
Not worth a sale. Not worth a bag and board.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, you got multiple first appearances. You had the, first appearance of the Council of Kangs. Then you have first appearance and death of a Kang variant who actually killed the Avengers in a ultimate.
Chose to kill them over saving Renslayer.
And then also you had 2 other first appearance of variants, Unknown Kangs and the Kang robots. So
Which is a big part of the story. Those Kang robots are a big part of the story, and Council of Kangs.
Remember when I said this months ago? Time travel and multiverses will fuck shit up.
No, it's fixing things right now on Marvel.
Right now, remember Heroes? I always go back to Heroes.
Yeah. You're right, Mel. But supposedly, like, this is going to fix everything that was kind of messed up in the beginning, right? This is giving them the chance to fix a lot of the problems, and I think it's a cool way to do it because one, it gives us we're rolling right into What If, we're rolling right into Multiverse of Madness, and we're rolling right into No Way Home. All 3 of those are going to be all because of what happened here. The only weird thing to me is if this moment was so important and is like the basis of the next wave of Marvel stuff, like this is going to be the big bad, it just felt weird to have Sylvie be the person to set it in motion, right? Like Sylvie just
she had no backstory.
Yeah, she had no backstory
other than just a couple shows.
Yes.
Well, let me ask you a question. Would it have been weird to you if it was actually Tom Hiddleston that did it?
It would have been better if Tom Hiddleston did it.
Well,
like if he killed Sylvie and then that caused Tom Hiddleston to, kill him. If it would have been vice versa,
Well, I mean, because she is a Loki. She's a Loki variant.
I know, but I don't care about her that much as I care about the Tom Hiddleston character. Does that?
I read an article today. I think it was on IMDb. Confirmed that Jack Schaefer and the rest of the team, along with Feige, they had multiple meetings about the timelines in the multiverse. They actually put together a set of rules and set it in stone. So there's nothing done by accident here.
This is a perfect way, and I'm gonna say this cautiously. And this is what I'm doing. What I would do: get rid of your Sherry book, because this is the perfect way to bring Killmonger as Black Panther. Perfect.
Yeah.
Without any fight back from anybody.
Yeah.
This is it.
Well, you saw Killmonger's in What If.
Other than the fact that they want more female leads.
You can't have every character player be a female. You can't do it.
Exactly.
I get that they can't do it, but they want to, and that's where they're moving. And there's, you think of having, okay, so yeah, great. Okay, you have Captain Marvel and you have some of these others.
You got Riri. You got your Iron Man.
But that's it. I mean, as far as like African American females, that's pretty much it, right? I mean, Moon Girl's gonna have a TV show as a cartoon, but that's about it. I mean, the fact that they can put Shuri in, front and center, I think that's what they want to do.
You have an opportunity to bring one of the most kick-ass characters,
but he will
as
not
a villain.
He will not be the same as a good guy as he was in that character. He just won't.
He'll be Black Panther.
But he will not. But he won't be as good as a Black Panther,
right,
as he was as Killmonger. He will
I don't
not
know.
be the same.
He's Michael B. Jordan. It's fucking awesome.
And he'll be named Kill Panther, just like the comics.
He was great in Fantastic Four.
He was terrible in that that movie on Netflix, man. That movie on Netflix was or Amazon.
The Tom Clancy movie.
The Tom Clancy one was probably
that movie.
Me and my dad were watching it, and there was probably 10 times that I looked at my dad and I went, "This is so bad, we shouldn't even finish it." Like I couldn't believe it, and the acting was so cheesy, and I didn't expect that. Maybe it was just a money grab.
I said this shit about Tenet. That was horrible. And I was David Washington.
Tenet was only for fans of Nolan. I mean, that was a Christopher Nolan. That was like people who don't like Tarantino flicks. You know what I mean? I get it.
Well, Nolan should have invited all 9 of them people to his house and fucking had it screening, because that shit was horrible.
Well, you know what, man? If you like Easter eggs and finding out cool stuff and reading about and finding new stuff, kind of like how I mentioned with Donnie Darko and Wikipedia, and if you love like Donnie Darko and going back and rewatching movies, Tenet is one of those really good movies to do with. Go do a deep dive on Tenet.
I could get past the first fucking time, man.
Mel, I told you the same thing, right? I said, you got to go watch it again. He's like, no, I can't. I'm confused. I'm going to drink. Yeah. And I was like, dude, just watch it again. Watch it again. I've watched it like 20 times. It gets better and better.
It's a movie in a circle, right? It's like the timeline. And that was one of the coolest things about the timeline. I thought that was really interesting, how when they showed at the end, I mean, you kind of saw it, but you didn't realize it until he kind of explained it at the end. But how the timeline that they were in, or the limbo that they were in on that rock, was in the middle of the circular timeline, and he put the timeline in a circle to be able to fix everything, right? And the way that they explained it with the little statues on the desk, and how he knew everything until that moment, and he had to let her choose. It was so cool.
Yeah, that shit already give me a fucking headache. Thanks, hearing you talking about that shit.
And before we move on, I want to add one more thing about Killmonger as Black Panther. So me and Charles Murphy had a debate on Twitter last weekend. Charlie, what are the 5? And it got pretty intense, and I held my own. But his thing was, there's no way it's going to happen because he killed Wakandans. And my response to that was, the Wakandans he killed, one was during battle. I mean, they were trying to kill him. He was defending himself. And B was when he killed, what's his name? The one that puts on the battle,
Forrest
Whitaker.
Oh,
Yeah, his character. I forgot his name, but that I said that was a just kill because of what happened to his father when he was a kid.
Yeah.
How T'Chaka killed him without going through Wakanda due process, and he tried to cover it up, and so I don't think that's a good reason. And on top of that, Angela Bassett said in January when she was at I think it was the BET Awards, or I think it was the BET Awards, her and her husband was asked about the cast of Black Panther 2, and she was trying to hold her tongue, and the husband goes, "Just tell him." She goes, "Okay, as of right now, everybody is coming back, including Michael." So
wow, we'll see what happens. All right, before we get on to number 2 or number 1, we have a book to talk about. All right, you guys. So this is the book we're going to give away next week based on your comments. This is Nice House on the Lake number 2, the exclusive one at Comics John Gallagher variant. Super creepy, bunch of dead people in the water that are like chained down to rocks that are just corpses, and then like this chick swimming in the lake. That's kind of creepy. Like that's one of the things that this type of shit scared me more than Jaws and stuff like that. This type of shit really scared me more than Jaws. Like what if there was dead bodies down there or something? But anyways, this is the book we're going to give away next week during the show. In order to win this book, you got to make a comment. And on that comment, I want to know, there was it was rumored that there are 7 other projects in development over at Marvel, other than the ones we've heard. Which one do you want to see the most? Which project that has not been announced at Marvel that could be in development do you want to see the most? Let us know in the comments underneath the YouTube when we're done being live, and I'll pick a random winner for this book next week. You have to be in the US, you guys. It's
left?
killing me.
That's a good question. What's left?
There's a lot, bro. There's a lot. There's a whole lot.
You mean like
Young Avengers, Ghost Rider,
okay.
The Thunderbolt, Dark Avengers,
Illuminati,
Ironheart.
And
X-Men.
There's stuff that according to what Sleepy dropped, what I read, it sounds like there's even stuff they're not even talking about. So
Strange Academy is a good one. I like that answer, man.
Yeah, that would be a good one. So again, that's not for the live chat, you guys. That's for when the video is done being live. Comment on the YouTube page afterwards, and we'll choose a winner next week. All right, on to number 1 this week on the CBSI Hot 10 list. Of course, you guys knew it was going to be here. Avengers number 8. First appearance of Kang the Conqueror. I get it, Rama Tut, all this stuff. First appearance of Kang the Conqueror right here. Not retroactively changed. This is a super dope cover. I've always loved this cover. I've talked about it before in Flipside many times that this is one of those books that we're all going to be regretting not owning, and seems to be that case. A lot of people, though, I saw were able to pick this up. I think Swaggle House got lucky and scored one when people weren't thinking it was going to happen. So some of you guys got lucky. Some of you guys thought correctly and chose the right book to buy. And this seems like it's it right now.
Yeah. And if you haven't bought one, it's way out of your price range now. I mean, 9.2, 8,500. 7.0, $4,000, 6.0, 2,700. I think even like 2.0s were like $1,000. I mean, like you're going to be spending $1,000 for a reader copy of this basically now, which is kind of weird. Like I was thinking about this week. I was thinking, okay, so I get that this one's a little older than Iron Man 55, but I think there's probably more copies of Iron Man 55 out there. But Iron Man 55 was not just Thanos; it was Drax as well. So I mean, that was like a major key, and I think values of this are higher than Iron Man 55, right?
Are you kidding me?
I don't know. I haven't looked. But
All right, let me look.
But,
let me look.
But even
Let me look.
let's say even if it was close, I mean, is Kang basically more important than Thanos?
He's hotter right now than Thanos.
He is. I guess he's hotter than Thanos now, but I mean,
what have you done for me lately?
I guess I don't know.
We live in a FOMO nation.
Yes. Yeah, 100%. All right, let's take a look. This is I get it. This is just eBay. These are some prices on Iron Man 55.
Yeah, so what was that? 6.5 was only $700.
Yeah, $700 for a 6.5. That's crazy.
I mean, for real, with the multiverse, you can bring back Thanos.
Amen. We talked. Yeah, amen. You could totally. They should bring back Thanos. He's a great villain.
So a 7.0 Kang is $2,700. A 7.0 Iron Man 55 is only $700. So it's, I mean, 4 times.
Is it done for me lately?
I mean, that and it's not just, and like I said, it's not just Thanos. It's Drax too. That is a mega key, and I get that the print run was probably high in the 70s, but the print run was high on Avengers too. I mean, it just because it was it was silver and earlier silver doesn't mean that the print run was low, because they were not low at that time.
Yeah, but the chances of an Avengers 8 being in better condition than an Iron Man 55 are probably a lot slimmer.
It is, and I looked at the CGC numbers, and now granted, Iron Man 55 I think has been a more major key for longer, so that's probably why there is a lot more graded. But even like I said, even if the number of on the census, let's say there's twice as many Iron Man 55s as there are Avengers 8. Does that really justify a 4x price difference? I don't know. I get that it's really hot right now, and I get that Thanos stuff is not near as hot, but Thanos has actually been able to carry in his own series. I mean, like he still has his own comics going on. I mean, has Kang ever had his own actual ongoing title? I don't think so.
Now they just started one, I think, right?
Yeah. So
we obviously know why, though.
It's just kind of I don't want to like throw shade on this book, because it is. I mean, it's a great book and all that stuff. I'm just concerned that the price point is exceptionally overblown. Comparatively with other villain types that can carry that kind of weight, I guess, is what I'm trying to say.
Well, here's the most interesting thing about this whole conversation to me is, man, if this ever was a good time to buy Iron Man 55, it's right now.
Yes, buy the dip.
Yep. I mean, you can get a nice copy of Iron Man 55 for less than $1,000 all day, every day on that. Ben,
you make a lot of sense. I totally see your point of view. I think Patrick in the live chat, shout out, nice seeing you. He mentioned that Jonathan Majors acting definitely are adding to the fire to this. I mean, people are hedging their bets. It's been talked about for a while. The scoopers that are insiders, journalists, Marvel journalists that have, we trust, like Charles Murphy and a few others, have been saying for at least since Thanksgiving, Christmas of last year that Kang would be the next big bad in the MCU for the next few phases.
Yeah.
So.
Yep. He's got 4 more properties that he's going to be in. So we're going to see him. Are we going to see a lot of him? Here's the interesting thing. I know a lot of people are bringing up that season 2 is still coming for Loki. Is he going to be the big bad in season 2? Are we going to get season 2 before we get Ant-Man? Are we going to get season 2 before we get Spider-Man? Are we going to get season 2 before we get Multiverse of Madness? Like, those are the other things. Chat, let us know if you guys know that any of that stuff is going to come out before season 2 of Loki. I don't know if they've announced that season 2 for Loki is going to be next year, but that'd be very interesting to see if we're going to get more Loki Kang before we get Kang in any of the other properties.
Did you see what Hiddleston said as well? That he said he would play Loki until the day he dies. Like, he will.
Yep.
He said, I will always play. I don't care how many movies or shows or whatever, I will always play Loki. So he's basically signed on for the rest of his life.
Good. Great character to play. Great character to play. Yep. And he is Loki to me at this point, right? Like he's Loki to me.
Yeah. Hugh Jackman, Wolverine, Hiddleston, Loki. I mean, it's there's nobody else that could do it.
Yeah. Good stuff. Great casting by Marvel on that. And Feige we trust still to this day. Like he hasn't done anything wrong. So, all right, you guys, thanks for hanging out with us tonight. We want to remind everybody to go follow her at DO1LAR_. So again, that's at _DO1LAR_ on Instagram for to go catch Dollar and all the stuff that he talks about. Go watch Drunken Chat Zone immediately following this on the Mighty Mel V YouTube channel, and of course always follow At the Wall Comics for all the amazing stuff that he drops all the time on his IG. I mean, just good stuff over there, Ben.
Yes, sir.
How often are you posting on IG, bro?
Not very much because I'm so busy, but it's usually random books that I pick up that people are like, "What is that? I've never seen that," or something like that. It's because that's all I really buy. So
yeah, and again, make sure to hit that subscribe button. We appreciate each and every one of you guys who hang out with us live every week. The community is amazing, and thanks for being friends of Flipside. And again, we will see you guys next time. Peace.
Yeah.